Hi, I'm David Lee, and I'm here to answer the question of whether you need a mixer in addition to your DJ board. In other words, do you need a band mixer in addition to a DJ mixer or DJ controller? Now, this is primarily for DJs who need to integrate various things in their systems, and there are some things you need to know and some things you need to avoid. So the first question is, do you need one? Well, that depends on how you run your system. If you are the operator of the system and you're in control of the levels and you set it up as per our recommended method for getting that set up, realistically, no, you don't need another board. More often than not, it'll do more harm than good, and we'll go into why. But effectively, the boxes are programmed to be able to be run straight from your mixing board, the DJ board, or a DJ controller straight out using the balance signal going into the boxes, and realistically as many boxes you like, 6 aside, however many you need, you can daisy chain them. And that's going to give you all of the control that you need under the circumstances that you have balanced the system the way you want it. When do you need a mixer? Well, realistically, never for the most part, because a mixer isn't necessarily the right tool for the job under a lot of the circumstances when you're a DJ. If you need to bring in multiple microphones and multiple different sources, if you need to add instruments, things like that, yes, you need a mixer to do that. The question is, do you need it after your DJ controller or before your DJ controller? And how do you integrate those things together? That's a lot of information to pack in, but here's some things that you want to be careful of. If you use a mixer after your DJ mixer or DJ controller, before the loudspeaker system, then be careful about what inputs you use. Your DJ controller or mixer has a line level output capacity. Most of the popular brands will provide plus 24 dB of output, which is way more than what you want going into a microphone input of a band mixer. And most of the inputs on a band mixer are microphone inputs, which means that you can overdrive them, you can distort them, and the sound quality will be massively negatively influenced. To avoid that, you want to make sure that you're going into a line level input, which a lot of times on mixers of that type are going to be the 1/4 inch inputs, not the XLRs. If they're not, you can buy additional hardware, little pads basically, that lower the level coming between the DJ mixer and the band mixer to a point where those more sensitive microphone inputs will not be overloaded. Again, these are not necessarily going to be without compromise in terms of the sound quality that passes through them, but they will be significantly better than a clipped microphone input. So if you must use a board that doesn't have line level inputs, it's way better to have one of those than nothing at all. The next thing you want to watch out for is the filters and all the different controls that are on not only analog boards, but particularly digital boards. If you're using a digital board, there's so much stuff that you can do that can negatively influence the quality of the sound that's coming out of your system as a whole. We've had customers and people doing a system demo basically, and having a mixer and a DJ controller and going to a system, and it's been quite remarkable the difference between just unplugging the cables coming out of their band mixer and moving them over and plugging them into the cables that were going to their band mixer, in other words, going directly out of the DJ board. The look on people's faces about the quality improvement was priceless. It's like, that's just that much damage that you can do if you are not running that system properly. They had no idea that that was happening. But there's so many things that can go wrong, that can be done wrong in that context, that you need to know about and you need to avoid, that in reality it's better to avoid that beforehand and not need to. So Under what circumstances do you need a mixer? Do you need that second mixer? Sometimes it's necessary because you have other people playing on your system and you need to control them. They get carried away, they get things turned up. And you want to have a secondary level control. But the question is a mixer of that level of complexity with the wrong potential inputs and that stuff the right tool for the job? You need to be careful about what it is you choose to put there. A mixer may not be the right thing. It may be just a potential disaster waiting to happen. There are other things that you might want to look at instead of a mixer that'll just give you that level control. Another thing that you could do instead is if you need to integrate multiple microphones or microphones and instruments and so on, DJ mixers do have line inputs. Most of the time they're RCA inputs, but occasionally not, and they also have microphone inputs. You can put a mixer for microphones, for multiple microphones, ahead of a DJ board. And so if you need to put more than, or you need more and better control than the DJ controller or DJ mixer can provide for a microphone input, and which is virtually none, that is a good way to control those microphones before they get to your input to your DJ board. And you can put them into a line input if your board has a line output. You can also put them into the microphone inputs of your DJ board if, and only if, your board that you choose to use to mix those microphones has the ability to put out microphone level. So basically, you need to make sure that it can drop its output to match that input if you're going to do that. That gives you the chance to mix multiple microphones, control feedback better, so on and so forth, and not have that, which is for microphones, potentially destroying the sound quality of the stuff that you're playing that doesn't need to go through that secondary device. So what do you want to put between your DJ controller and your sound system? Best thing you can put between them is cable, signal cable. Hopefully these things will allow you to improve the sound quality that you provide as a DJ and with everything else that you need to do in the DJ realm.